because he needs to keep it back and defend against those ornithopters who are just picking off infantry left and right. They're just dropping troopers one at a time. So he's taking some casualties from that. It would be best if he could avoid them. And you know, what is he doing here? He's retreating. I remember watching that. I was like, no, don't retreat. Why is he going back to the crag? Look at all the troopers he's got. He's probably got 50 guys sitting in this bunch. Steamroll, go straight to the left, straight. It's just another example of where he could have just ran straight in and just demolished TheRaffy. But unfortunately, he didn't have the scouting. He did not send some light vehicles around. He wasn't aware. He didn't have command of the board. He just didn't know the position he was in. So, there again, he was in such a strong position. But now TheRaffy has put a bunch of troopers of his own into crags. Not going to be as strong as Harkonnen troopers, but still very strong inside the crags. So Harkodos, what he should have done right here was just, send those troopers somewhere else. Send them north to attack the other side of TheRaffy's base. Lots of stuff he could do, and now they're all just sitting there getting shot by ornithopters. And I don't know that Harkonnen is even really paying attention to this at the moment, but he should be. He's got a light vehicle factory, and only now has he put down some cues for flak trikes, which may or may not get eaten by worms. That one is probably going to get eaten because it's not being watched. Oh, it got away. So, all right, bunch of troopers going down. So the flak trikes are finally out to harass the ornithopters a little bit, to deflect them. So he'll stop losing as many troopers, but you got to remember, during all this time, when nothing was happening, TheRaffy has been building up a ton of money. I see he's got a palace there now, and he's got a bunch of troopers of his own. And if he's very wise about using them, then they'll still be very effective in slowing down that assault. And you may have just noticed some Fremen popping out there from the north, a bunch of little pretty Fremen with green eyes instead of blue, like you're normally familiar with. But the Ordos, they fill them full of mind gas and all that good stuff. So there's some Fremen sitting rather invisible there above his base. And once again, without Harkodos doing a lot of scouting, he may not even know those guys are up there. I would not be surprised, actually, if he does not know that they're there. So TheRaffy is branching out. He's moving his base out a little bit. I see down there in the lower left, he's got one of his famous proxy bases. He always likes to get MCBs as soon as possible and buy 2 or 3 or 4 of them all at once and send out a whole bunch of construction yards so that he can really charge up his economic and structural power across his base. He can just build and rebuild his base almost at will at that point, and doesn't have to worry about losing one valuable construction yard. So you can see TheRaffy is just getting so much time. There is not much going on here, and again, the Ordos are by far the weakest on defense, and the only thing TheRaffy has to defend are a bunch of rocket turrets, aside from the troopers. So, rocket turrets are only slightly better at a distance than cannon turrets against infantry, but up close they're not even as good, because rocket turrets are weak on hit points. They don't even have half the hit points of a cannon turret. They have better accuracy and much better range, and they can hit things in the air, but they're just not great for attacking infantry. And infantry, they're also not considered defended, so most infantry types will do extra damage to them. So those rocket turrets are basically useless. If he had some guard turrets, that might deter all these troopers. But now you can kind of see where the economic factor is just looming large. I mean, look at the credit producing power, the refining operations of TheRaffy, and look at all the time he's had to work with. Look at all those Fremen. Look at all those little green-eyed Fremen running around. And now they're on the move. It looks like they're going to go straight for the enemy line, which would be pretty colorful. It looks like they're going to come down and reinforce all the Ordos and all the other troopers down there, or they're going to go up to the right. So there they go, marching up north. We'll see what TheRaffy's plan is here. Doesn't look like he has still suit upgrades yet, because all the infantry are moving rather slow, but they're still, you can still tell the Fremen are quite a bit faster than other troopers and infantry. So now, and like I was saying, the economic power here, TheRaffy has so much money rolling in, and on the other side you see Harkodos with so many queues for infantry that for troopers You can see he's trying to produce so many troopers, but he doesn't have the credits for it. He's just waiting and waiting and waiting to get enough credits to finish all this production. And meanwhile, the TheRaffy is not slowing down. Here come more and more and more Fremen. Oh, and here comes a sweeping flanking attack from the Fremen. They are going all the way around. They're taking the long way, and again, I'm not sure that Harkodos even sees that they're up there. So he might have a real rude surprise very shortly here. That's an awful lot of troopers for Harkodos, but that's really all he has, and he's given, not only has he given the TheRaffy time to recover from the earlier attacks, but he's also given him time, he's given him all the opportunities in the world right now to come up with counters against troopers, and there are plenty. There are plenty of ways to handle them. You can throw cannon fodder infantry at them in the front. You can flank them with quads. You can get a good surround. If you get a nice concave on them, as they say, with infantry, you can often do a lot of damage to them. Get a couple of units in the background for support, and pretty much clean them up. So now here come the Fremen. They're going to do a little harvester harassment, it looks like, first. And here is where I was freaking out. You can see me moving the mouse cursor all around, all over the place as I'm watching this. I'm just like, no, don't move the troopers over there. No. I'm like, Harkodos, you can't be serious. Please don't do this. Please don't do it. It's going to be so bad. But he's, you still got time. You still got time to retreat. Just move away. Get out of there. Get away. Get away. Oh, but he's not going to retreat, and he's not even attacking all at once in a nice ball. He's just sort of throwing them all together in a long line. This is just going to be awful. I mean, from what you can see, the Harkonnens, it looks like they outnumber the Fremen, right? Well, just watch. All right, so they pop a couple right off the bat with longer range. A few Fremen die. Now watch this. Oh, just... Oh God! Oh God! Oh, they're just disappearing. Oh. And look at how many Fremen are left. Look at them all. I mean, what did he suffer? It looks, if you count all the green there, it looks like about 15. He lost about 15 Fremen and slaughtered the entire group of Harkonnen troopers. So that's what Fremen are made for. It's just really unfortunate that Harkodos, and here he says this is going to be heartbreaking, and you can see the TheRaffy just finished his still suit upgrades, and now his Fremen are very fast, and here they go right into some crags. They're attacking Harkonnen troopers in the crags, and it still doesn't even matter. They are still just wiping them out. It's just taking slightly longer than it did before, and they're just getting destroyed. So, I mean, what a prime example of how to use Fremen. Now, on the other hand, throwing them forward into a base attack like this is a bad idea. That's just silly. So, I mean, it doesn't even matter at this point. The TheRaffy has this wrapped up. But Fremen, you never want to have them on the front line because, number one, they're short range, so they're going to be the first to take hits. They're very expensive. You don't really want to lose them that way. And number two, they don't do extra damage to buildings. They do not have the bonus of building damage that every other foot unit has. The Fremen do not get that, so they're really they really lose a lot of value when you throw them into a base assault, and you're just risking too much money. So normally you wouldn't do that, but it just doesn't matter here. The TheRaffy at this point is having a good time. He knows he's got this wrapped up, and he's just sending them around to attack anything he can get his hands on. So and I saw he was building quite a few more Fremen. Looks like they're going to come in from off the screen now. Here they come. Here's me just giving a little bit of advice to Harkodos, just saying, hey, you got to scout more. You got to keep Ordos on the defensive if possible. Either that or, put a lot of effort into your own defense, and I mean a lot of effort. Because it's ideal if you can force the enemy to come to you as the Harkonnen, as long as you're fighting on your terms. And this whole game is all about making the enemy fight on your terms, but the Ordos have the ability to take the fight to the enemy, and the Harkonnen are a little more limited in that respect because of their sluggishness. So the the Harkonnen, ideally what you want to do with them is you want to try and get a nice big ball of units over to the enemy and steamroll them. And if you're the other side, if you're the Ordos, what you want to do is constantly harass. You want to keep them from being able to send a giant ball of units over. You want to keep some units on the outside to, circle defenses, to come at rocket launchers who are sitting in the back, pounding the front lines. You want to be able to send a few groups of light vehicles into the back just to take them out while the front line is occupied. There's just all kinds of things you can do, but it does make the Ordos. It means you need to be aggressive and quick thinking with the Ordos. And here's Harkodos saying he's the best out of his regular group, and he could have smeared him. So Harkodos not losing any face here, and he is refusing to give up. He's got good spirit. I can respect him for that. So he's hopefully everybody will have learned a little bit from this casting, just being able to see, especially about the Fremen, but particularly about foot units in general. This is a great example of how to use and how not to use different kinds of foot units. So hopefully in the next game we'll see a bunch of other different kinds. So again, this is Jesse, aka Drakbolt, for Dune 2: The Golden Path. Thanks for watching.